the winner of a contest for youth to speak here at the march. Is that you? Lovely girl. Please welcome Carolyn Kaplan from Latin High School.
It's an honor to be here today, and it's an honor to represent the youth of Illinois. But my voice is just one voice. But I hope I'm able to speak for as many teens as possible when I say that it's time to stop asking questions we already know the answers to. Is marriage an unalienable right? Do we get to decide what family means to us? Do we get to choose who to love? Is it finally time for equality? As we move into adulthood, it's time to stop asking questions and start providing answers. Today is a step in the right direction. Our generation stands with those for whom even the idea of marriage equality seems so out of reach. Today, we also march for our future, and we won't stop until equality is a reality. Thank you.
Thank you, Caroline. All right, business leader and LGBT community activist Art Johnston has been active in Chicago for more than 35 years, including as a co-founder of Equality Illinois.
Wow. Welcome to Springfield. Welcome to your state capital. Welcome to history. Important firsts have taken place in this proud capital city, as in the rest of our proud prairie state. You know, the awesome leader who authored the Emancipation Proclamation, that inspiration for all civil rights work, began his career right here, within blocks of where you are now standing. Also, in Illinois, was founded the very first gay rights organization in the world, the Society for Human Rights, founded by Henry Gerber in Chicago in 1924. I am proud that Illinois was among the first states to repeal the inhumane laws that forbade marriage by people who loved each other if they were of different races. In 1961, Illinois was the first state in the nation to wipe out the despicable laws forbidding intimate, loving contact between people of the same sex. Laws that remained on the books in states across America until overruled by the United States Supreme Court in Lawrence v. Texas only 10 years ago. And there's more. I love this one. Exactly 100 years ago, the Illinois legislature in that very building behind you took up its most controversial piece of legislation in decades. The proponents said it was about fairness and equality. The fierce, self-righteous opponents convinced themselves that this unnatural proposal would destroy the very foundations of marriage and family, that its passage would assuredly bring about the decline and fall of American civilization. Well, that legislation passed fairly easily in the Illinois Senate early in the 1913 session, but got stuck for month after month after month in the Illinois House of Representatives. Does that sound familiar to anybody? And what was this radical proposal that finally passed the House in June 1913 and was signed by another impatient governor? This controversial law gave women in Illinois the right to vote. But only in presidential and local elections. And thus, Illinois became the first state east of the Mississippi to allow women a small piece of equality at the voting booth. In doing so, Illinois got on the right side of history where we would like them to stay. In 2013, we are amazed that anyone could have ever deprived women of the right to vote, that anyone could have thought it was moral to prevent loving people of different races from marrying each other. As I look out at this greatest gathering in the history of Illinois for lesbian and gay rights, I think about history. I also see students everywhere, and so I can see the future. I see my friends from the Parker School, and the Latin School, and Adlai Stevenson High School. Students are here from the Rudy Lozano Leadership Academy, as well as the Gun Shalom Preschool at Temple Shalom, and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of other students. I want to close, my friends, with this. One day in your future, someone will come to you and ask, do you remember all that controversy about marriage equality way back in 2013? And you will be able to say something like, yes, I do remember. I went to Springfield to help, and I remember that it took a very long time for some of my elected officials to remember how to be leaders. Because of what you do here today and what you can do every day to stand up for equality for all, you will always know in your heart that you have helped Illinois once again get back on the right side of history. Thank you for being here. Thank you for all you do.
Art Johnston. We've heard a lot from our allies today, and we need our allies, including this next legendary leader, William E. McNary, co-director, Citizen Action of Illinois.
Well, good afternoon. You know, my mama always told me you can tell what kind of a crowd you're standing in front of by the way they greet friends or by the way they greet strangers when they greet you. So let's try that again. Good afternoon. Now that's more like it. You all do my mama proud. At Citizen Action Illinois, we say there are three kinds of people. There are people that make things happen, there are people that watch things happen, and then there are people that don't know what's happening. I can't think of any place else in the world I would rather be on a Tuesday afternoon than right here in Springfield, the people's capital, in a crowd full of aggressive progressives, people who are not just content to spectate or speculate or postulate or pontificate about life, but people who are active participants in the movement for social justice and social change. I truly believe because you all are gathered here this afternoon, there will be love, there will be dignity, and there will be equality for our gay and lesbian and bisexual and transgender brothers and sisters. I came here to tell you a story about a man who fought for social and racial justice, and he also fought for economic justice. He was a leading activist of the civil rights movement, and he helped initiate a freedom ride to challenge racial segregation on interstate buses. He helped organize the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, the premier civil rights organization of its time. He promoted nonviolence and the practice of nonviolent resistance, which he learned from observing Gandhi's movement in India. He influenced the generation of youth, and he advised organizations like CORE, the Congress of Racial Equality, and SNCC, the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee. And after the passage of the Civil Rights Act and the Voting Rights Act, he focused his attention on economic problems of poor people, and he urged an alliance with the labor union movement. And one of his greatest achievements was when he organized the March on Washington in August of 1963. What a powerful man Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was. But the man I speak about was a behind-the-scenes organizer. His name was Bayard Rustin, a gay man. A gay man who had been arrested for homosexual activity in 1953. He was criticized not only by his opponents, but by his fellow civil rights leaders. They called him a pervert and an immoral influence. And thus, while he fought for human rights and human dignity for others, he did most of his work behind the scenes. He denied himself for the cause of a movement. This year, Bayard Rustin was posthumously awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom. We believe that marriage equality is a matter of human rights and human dignity, and we cannot continue to deny others their humanity without losing our own. It is time that our gay and lesbian and bisexual and transgender brothers and sisters who love their partners have the full rights and protection of marriage. And if we stand together and stick together and stay together, let the record reflect that on this day, Tuesday, October 22nd, 2013, a group of justice-seeking, truth-telling, freedom-loving people came together in the capital of Springfield and fought for an Illinois that create jobs and educate our children and tend to our sick and save our planet and bring our undocumented brothers and sisters out of the shadows into the light and allow our gay and lesbian and transgender and bisexual brothers and sisters the right to marry. We all do better. When we all do better, now is the time. 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 In the spirit of Dr. King and Bayard Rustin, let's get to work.
Thank you. Our next speaker is labor leader John Cullop, who has been the leader of Illinois Unites during this campaign for marriage equality.
Now is the time. Now is the time. I'm proud to stand before you today as the campaign manager for Illinois Unites for Marriage, a coordination of over 60 organizations in the state fighting for the freedom to marry. We believe when we started this campaign in June that we would not be able to do this without all of you, that we would not be able to pass marriage equality in this state without all of you taking action. And so, today we delivered 20,000 postcards to our representatives that you all signed. And as of today, these representatives have heard from over 50,000 people in the last 3 months. We know that history is on our side. We know that the people of Illinois are with us. And this campaign was built to be inclusive of all of you. I'm proud to see all of you here today. I hope all of you here today have spoken to your representatives or will do so. Thank you all for being here today. Now is the time. Now is the time. Now is the time. Thank you.
Thank you, John. LZ Granderson is a CNN contributor and senior writer for Espn. He has won numerous awards for his coverage of sports and much more.